There is a sound that stops conversations dead in their tracks. A deep, uneven, thundering growl unlike any other motorcycle on Earth. It comes from an engine layout so mechanically stubborn, so difficult to build, that almost every other manufacturer on the planet gave up on it decades ago. Except one, a company from Bologna, Italy, that turned that stubbornness into a religion and built one of the most obsessively loved motorcycle brands in the world. This is the story of Ducati. The story does not begin with motorcycles at all. In 1926, three brothers named Ducati founded a company in Bologna to manufacture radio components and precision electrical devices. For years, Ducati had nothing to do with speed or engines whatsoever. It was a business built on vacuum tubes and condensers, a serious industrial enterprise with scientific ambitions, utterly unconnected to the world of racing that would eventually define it completely. Then came the Second World War, and it left much of Ducati's factory in ruins. In the desperate, fuel-starved years that followed, Italy needed cheap transportation more than it needed radios. So Ducati pivoted and in 1946 began producing a tiny bolt-on bicycle engine called the Cucciolo, meaning little puppy. It was small, humble, and affordable, exactly what a broken nation needed to get moving again. Nobody could have guessed that this modest engine was the first spark of a motorsport legend. The true turning point arrived in the form of one man. In 1954, a brilliant obsessive engineer named Fabio Taglioni joined Ducati, and he brought with him an idea that would come to define the brand forever. Taglioni believed passionately in the Desmodromic valve system, an ingenious and fiendishly complex mechanism that mechanically closes an engine's valves instead of relying on ordinary springs. It allowed for higher revs and more reliable performance at speed, but it was notoriously difficult and expensive to engineer correctly. Where other manufacturers looked at Desmodromic valves and quietly walked away, Taglioni became consumed by them. He pushed the technology into Ducati's racing machines, and the results on the track were spectacular, immediately setting Ducati apart from every rival in the world. From that point forward, the Desmodromic system became something close to sacred within the company, a technical signature that Ducati refused to abandon even when it would have been far cheaper and easier to do so. But if Desmodromic valves were the heart of the DNA, another decision would shape the soul of the brand just as powerfully. In 1972, Ducati unveiled a new engine architecture, the L-Twin, two cylinders arranged in a distinctive 90-degree V-shape. This configuration gave the motorcycle near-perfect primary balance and that unmistakable, lumpy, syncopated exhaust note that riders would come to recognize blindfolded. It was mechanically awkward to package, difficult to cool, and stubbornly complicated. Ducati built it anyway and never really stopped. That same year, 1972, delivered the moment that turned Ducati from a promising underdog into a legend. At the Imola 200, one of the most prestigious races in the world, Ducati's L-Twin machines, ridden by Paul Smart and Bruno Spaggiari, did not just compete against the giants of the era. They finished first and second, obliterating the established order in front of a stunned international audience. It was an earthquake. A small Italian factory had just beaten the biggest names in motorcycling at their own game. The decades that followed were a wild, often terrifying roller coaster. Ducati changed hands again and again, passed between different owners, drifting dangerously close to bankruptcy on more than one occasion. There were moments when the survival of this legendary name hung by the thinnest of threads, when the passionate but financially fragile Italian company seemed destined to disappear entirely, swallowed by debt and mismanagement. Salvation, when it finally came, arrived on the racetrack once again. In 1988, Ducati introduced the 851 and unleashed it into the newly created World Superbike Championship. The results were staggering. Ducati's V-twins, against all conventional wisdom, began systematically dismantling the field of Japanese four-cylinder machines, a David-versus-Goliath story that repeated itself race after race, season after season, and became one of the great underdog sagas in all of motorsport. Through the 1990s and beyond, Ducati built an almost mythical reputation in World Superbike, racking up championship after championship with a series of increasingly beautiful, increasingly dominant V-twins. Riders spoke of the bikes in reverent tones. Fans wore the red like a religious color. Ducati was no longer simply an Italian motorcycle manufacturer. It had become a genuine cult, complete with devoted followers who would defend their bikes with something close to fanatical loyalty. Then came a gamble that stunned the entire industry. In 2003, Ducati walked away from the twin-cylinder formula that had defined it for 3 decades and entered MotoGP with a radical four-cylinder Desmodromic. Skeptics called it heresy. Instead, in only its 2nd season, Ducati won a MotoGP race outright, a staggering achievement for a manufacturer daring to challenge the establishment on a completely new frontier, proving that the obsession with engineering excellence transcended any single formula. Today, Ducati stands as one of the most desired and instantly recognizable motorcycle brands on the planet. From radio components in the rubble of a bombed factory, to a bicycle engine called the Little Puppy, to Desmodromic valves nobody else dared to master, to David-versus-Goliath victories on the world's greatest racetracks, the company has never stopped chasing an almost irrational, borderline obsessive pursuit of engineering perfection. That obsession is precisely why riders love it so fiercely. A Ducati has never been the easiest, most practical, or most sensible motorcycle you could buy. It has always been something else entirely, a machine engineered by people who refused every shortcut, who chased the hardest possible solution simply because it was the right one. From 3 brothers making radios in Bologna to a red icon adored across the entire world, that is the story of Ducati. Thanks for watching Throttle Tales. If this one stirred something in you, twist the throttle on that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next ride.